Welcome to the Dream, folks. I am your host Tamashi, and it's time for another episode of Temptation. For every banner, I assign a temptation rating, which is a value from 1 to 10 that is representative of how much I want to deviate from my current pull plans. This value doesn't directly correlate to how good a character is, although it is a factor, and I will be giving my thoughts on a character either before or after a rating. This is not a guide or a should you pull video, so try not to treat it as such. First up, we have the Cid Noel banner. This was a planned pull. I rate the Cid Noel banner a 1 out of 10. I needed Noel for challenge quest as there was no guarantee I could beat Queen's Lost Chapter CQ without him. Cid would be good for Transcendence or for Abyss, and I had a feeling we'd get a new Abyss for the anniversary. And I was right, though I didn't use him for this one. I also really like Noel. I despise the FF13 trilogy. But Noel and Serah have always been bright spots in that series for me, but I'll hold off on my thoughts on Serah for the moment. Spent 70 tickets and got both LDs and Noel BT, which I'm super happy about because it means I'll have full kits for both the Hunter Trio and the Million Damage Trio. The only reason this banner got a 1 instead of a 0 is because of my BT rule, for those who don't know. Any character I get a BT for, I have to build, so thankfully that wasn't an issue this time around. I'll green him someday, but definitely not now. As for Cid, he was a character that was on my forbidden list like Snow. It's a list of characters that actively detract from my enjoyment of a game, so I don't play them in Opera. I've kind of eased up on my forbidden list over the years and been mellower about playing characters that are on it, largely due to events like Transcendence and Abyss. I'm hoping that FF7R Part 2 will make me like Cid as a character so I can permanently take him off the list, because I used to not be the biggest fan of Cloud, but Part 1 made me love the guy. You probably noticed by now that I didn't give any thoughts on their gameplay like I did for most of the characters in the previous video. That's because there's not much to talk about. Noel! You press buttons, do damage, and unbreak. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Yes, I know there's more to him than that, but none of it's particularly interesting to discuss in a video like this. Cid has a bit more going on, of course. Did you know Cid can heal, and dispel, and delay? I always forget he can do that. Running alongside that banner was the Onion Knight Serah banner. This was a planned skip. I rate the Onion Knight Serah banner a 2 out of 10. I already had Onion Knight fully built, but I caved and pulled with tickets because I was capped because of Divine Ifrit. And I got Serah LD in 150 tickets. Jesus, Onion Knight is bad! When he first came out in JP, I tried to stand up for the guy and say he's not that bad. Past me was dumb, stupid, and wrong, and he really was and is that bad. When you're sandwiched between characters like Llyud, however you're supposed to say his name, and Noel, and all your skills are a single HP dump, and Locke comes out the month after, there's a goddamn problem. If you could switch between his Sage and Ninja BT Aura like you could in Dissidia, he'd be a bit better, but it wouldn't be enough. The kid's kit just needs a massive overhaul from top to bottom. It hurts me to say stuff like this because he's one of my mains in Dissidia, and he's currently the main character of Opera. So his kit being so bad just feels sad and wrong. As for Serah, she's the only reason this banner has 2 points instead of 0. Her kit isn't half bad and is actually kind of fun. Her debuffs are nothing to write home about, but her damage is decent. Well, for support anyway. And she certainly does more damage than Onion Knight at least. And not counting cursed arts doesn't require too much investment. The moment I was sold on Serah as a character was the moment in 13.2 where Noel asks her who Snow is, and one of your dialogue options has her go off on this massive rant about how much she loves Snow, and how cool he is. If you haven't seen it, I recommend looking it up, because it's both hilarious and precious. I may hate Snow, but I'll always love how passionate Serah is. And now that I have her LD, the lovely couple can be my farm bots, until I find something better. Next up is the Noctis Vanille banner, which I am rating a 5 out of 10. It was kinda difficult to make up my mind on this banner. I like Vanille, but I wouldn't call her particularly great. In fact, she's kind of bad. But at the same time, that call is pretty great. Put a pin in this statement, because we're going to need to talk about it more in a bit. Noctis I already have fully built, and you bet your ass I greened the True King, because this character's kit is stupid. It's been busted in my eyes since he got his LD, and I plan on using it to get me through the Sephiroth fight. I ultimately decided to spend 180 tickets, got a not BT dupe, thanks for the BPT tokens, and I got Vanille LD. Back to that pinned statement, I said Vanille Call is good. Well, the reason I wanted it was to reopen Kefka's team comp options, because Kefka's LD boards force his Light of Judgment debuffs on the target when he uses LD, but at a lower percentage. So I thought to myself, well, hold on, if Vanille's debuffs are stronger, I can stop Kefka's debuffs from going on, thus reopening his team options back to the good old days, back during early Lufenia, where Kefka was arguably at his strongest and most useful. Turns out, much to my disappointment, only Vanille's defense down is stronger than Kefka's. Her attack down is exactly the same, so it doesn't work out quite the way I was hoping. I still feel it's nice to have, so it wasn't a complete waste of resources. Next up, we have the Queen Cater banner. This was a planned pull, and I rated this banner a 5 out of 10. That I budgeted 150 tickets for, but since I was capped on tickets, again because of Divine Ifrit, I raised it to 200. Queen is neat. And that's the end of the thought. She's neat. I don't have to have her, but it would be cool if I got her. I just didn't feel that strongly about her either way. There is, of course, some cool stuff that can be done with her. She has Party Last Stand, so you can pair her with someone like Locke, and effectively become immortal because you can count on one hand the number of enemies in the game that have multiple HP dumping attacks. A character I was really interested in was Cater. Cater will always be a meme in my eyes because of that QE Leviathan video he put out before Cater got her rework and EX, but she's got some nice stuff now. I'll miss when her counters were her big draw, but she's still got plenty of off-turn damage from her trap, and some decent on-turn damage from her LD, EX, and new Brave and HP attacks. But you're not stupid, and you already know the real reason to get Cater is for that call, which will be a godsend once HP threshold attacks start becoming the norm. And further make Kefka's HP silence irrelevant. There was a time when HP silence stopped threshold attacks. That's gone now. But again, much like Queen, I didn't care either way if I got her, especially after getting Noel's full kit, which meant I could do the CQs of this cycle in my sleep. The other reason for my indifference towards Cater is Setzer's rework, which makes his freeze as long and as powerful as Cater's by making it 3 turns, and making it framed. Hell, they even buffed the call version to match his new freeze, which I'm pretty sure they've never done before for any other character. It's nice to know there are still FF6 fans in Team Ninja and Square Enix. Spent 170 tickets, got Cater LD, and then bailed. And then the next morning, I got another from the free daily because this game is spiteful, and refuses to ever give me anything new from those things. Last, but certainly not least, we have the Llyud, however you want to say his name. I'm gonna stick to Llyud because that's just the most fun for me to say. The Llyud Zell banner. Llyud was a planned pull. My rating for this banner was a 0 out of 10. I was going to pull on this banner, no matter what. I love this character. I love his design, his voice, and unlike Jegrin, who won me over and then sorely disappointed me because his kit felt like it was held together by paper clips and string, Llyud is both really good and fun to use. His auras are massive, his damage is decent for a support-based character, he heals the party, he has battery, he can instantly charge the entire party's EXs.
It slices, it dices, it splices your multimedia data. Well, it'll even julienne fries. Just get the potato in that little door in the front. What do you get for your money? Well, you get the M audio card. It does 8-bit, 16-bit, mono, and stereo. It'll make sounds only your dog can hear. That'll be good for leaving Fido those all-important voicemail messages. And you get the XGA display adapter. 64,000 colors for more natural image display. 64,000...
I used this character so much on JP, and I couldn't wait for him to come to Global, especially since he brings along with him Zell's C90, who's also a blast for me to play. His EX isn't heart garbage anymore, so you can press it without feeling like you wasted a turn. And he also got self-brave gains akin to the encouragement keystone. Spent 280 tickets for Llyud LD, and got 4 Zell LD dupes along the way, which I wasn't mad about because it wasn't Zell that was a bastard to me on his LD debut when I pulled on the Cid Banner. I got him at I think 100 G tokens. It was X-Death who was my 4th BT pity. The only reason I'm not more salty about this is that I got UniBT on the Avon banner with a single ticket the month after. I don't even recall why I did that. I had 0 plans to pull an AFMAO, but for some reason I was just compelled to spend something. That's all for this episode of Temptation. Be sure to let me know what you thought in the comments, and be sure to tell me how Noel's cycle went for you as well. Horribly sorry if there was any distracting background noise. I tried to mitigate it as much as possible. The baby likes to chew on things, especially when I'm trying to work. It's what he does, it's what he do. And if there was any beeping in the background, I know there was some of it in the previous episode of Temptation. Sorry, there's not a lot I can do about that. There's something wrong with my alarm. And it's just gonna beep and be loud and annoying at random intervals. I'm gonna be able to do something about it someday, but it certainly isn't now, or the near future. Thankfully, it was mostly quiet for this recording session. I deeply appreciate it. And now that I've said that, tomorrow when I start streaming, it's going to be a bitch again. Till next time, gang. Later. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please like the video, comment down below, share the video around, and subscribe to the channel, because it tells me you like my content and want me to keep making it. It also helps the channel grow. Until next time, later.